Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, Phi Gieri. I'm here in beautiful, scenic Houston, Texas, right around Hanukkah time. Today, we're checking out the hottest spot to get the crispiest latkes you've ever seen. Come with me, and we're going to talk about Hanukkah. We're going to talk about latkes. I'm going to show you how they're made here at the hottest joint, and we're going to eat some. This is all coming up and more on Chavels, Hot Spots, and Choms. L'chaim! So Hanukkah has been celebrated since 146 BCE, and it's the first time that a group of people really fought for their religious freedom instead of land or money or power. Nowadays, Hanukkah is a celebration of lights and freedom, but most importantly, fried foods. I promised y'all the hottest spot in town, and this is George's Garage. Hey, Pops, how you doing? Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Guy Fione.
Phi Gieri!
Phi Gieri, how you doing today? Well, hey folks, welcome to George's Garage Cafe. And today we're going to cook some latkes since it's Hanukkah time. So let's get right into it. There's a few things you need: potatoes, eggs, a little matzah meal. You can use breadcrumbs. I've used Bisquick in the past. A little salt and pepper because that always makes stuff taste good. So today we're using frozen hash browns that I took out of the refrigerator a while ago. Let them warm up. It's cool today. They're still a little cold, but that's okay. So we'll start with them, and we'll go ahead and dump them in the bowl for mixing purposes. Okay, so first we start with the potatoes in the bowl.
Very nice.
I like to add a little matzah meal, but you can also use flour. I've used Bisquick, but you don't want to add too much. You're just kind of using it as a binder. So I'm going to carefully measure about 2 tablespoons. Watch me carefully measure.
So Pops, I hear that it's traditional to eat fried foods at Hanukkah time. Do you want to tell me a little about that?
Yeah, well, you know, you not only eat fried latkes, but also a lot of people make fried donuts with like jam on the inside.
Ooh, that sounds good.
We should make some.
We should.
Okay, so I'm going to stir this. The matzah meal just kind of helps it stick together a little bit, so you don't want to put too much. So the next thing is, I like a little onion in mine. I'm pretty good at chopping. You know, I did this professionally when I was in college. I worked in a restaurant. I was the dishwasher. So I chopped all kinds of food up. So I'm pretty good at it. So you can see I chopped it up pretty small. And we're going to add some in, say maybe about half an onion.
So I was reading that Hanukkah is a holiday about, great miracles. Can you tell me a little about that? Maybe the symbolism of the oil?
Well, the oil, if you remember, the Maccabees were up on the mountain and they had been pretty much locked in place.
Sieged in.
They only had enough oil for their oil lamps to burn one day, but it turns out it burnt 8 days. So now all of a sudden we have the 8 days of Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights for 8 days. So that's kind of how it all came down.
2 eggs?
2 eggs to kind of help with that binding. Some people crack them into a bowl and mix them up first. I kind of just throw them in. I kind of have my own ways of doing these things, but this is George's Garage Cafe, so I must be doing something right.
So the other part of this, the other kind of miracle that happened is that this ragtag bunch of Maccabees fighting the Syrian army were able to prevail. A small group of very motivated soldiers was able to prevail against one of the largest and most powerful armies in the world around that time. So you could really consider that to be the other great miracle.
That is a great miracle
of Hanukkah.
All right, so you can see I got the eggs mixed in, I got the onion mixed in. We'll do a little pepper. I like fresh ground. Really, it's a taste thing. You all know how much salt and pepper you like to put in for your own taste. And we'll throw in a little salt, a little kosher salt. And then keep the salt handy, because when these things come out of that hot oil, you're gonna hit them with that salt once more just for that final blast of flavor. This is our cooking setup out here in the Garage Cafe. What you want is about a 1/4 inch oil in your pan, okay? And you want to heat the oil to about 375, 400.
So, Pops, does it matter what kind of oil you cook with? I mean,
Well-
I don't think we should cook it in crude oil.
Well, no, we're not going to cook it in crude oil, but any good vegetable oil, which has a high smoke point, would do. Today I'm using canola oil.
Can you use olive oil?
Well, you could, but I think olive oil is too heavy and the smoke point's lower than on a vegetable oil.
Okay.
So I think the vegetable oil is better to use. So keep an eye on the temperature there. We're gonna,
So does it matter how much you work this? Can you overwork this mixture here?
well, I'm not sure if you can overmix it or not, but I suspect you probably can.
So you just want to get it to combined
You just want
and
it-
then kind of leave it be then.
You want it combined, then you want to leave it be, and then just, bring it together enough to make patties. So your patties should be like 3-4 inches in diameter. I just form them with my hands.
Could you use something like a ring mold?
Yeah, you could use a ring mold. That's a good idea. We should have cut a beer can off and used it for a ring mold.
And for the potatoes, do you need to do any pre-processing to them, or you really can just use them right out of the bag?
Well, as I said, what I like to do is bring them up to room temperature if at all possible. I've also actually put them in the microwave before and nuked them for a few minutes. But if you want to be traditional, old school, like your grandmother used to do it, you start with the potatoes, you peel them, and you either use a box grinder or grater, or you put them in your food processor. How we doing on that oil, Noah? Noah's using the instant read thermometer. It's a tool I use in the kitchen. I use it on the grill when I'm grilling stuff. It's just a handy dandy tool. This one that he's using is USB recharge, so you don't have to worry about batteries.
USB-C too. Nice touch.
Yeah. All right, Guy Pepperoni. Next step is we're gonna cook them. I like to use the spatula to put them in because they're kind of gentle like that. You could see that one broke going in. But that's the thing about live TV. Stuff happens. And what we're looking for is a nice golden brown. We like the temperature around 375, and we'll let them cook for a couple minutes, then we'll flip them over and see what they look like.
You know, Pops, what my next great invention is going to be?
What's that, Guy Pepperoni?
Smell-o-vision. I cannot describe to you what I am getting in my olfactory receptors. So tell me, when you're frying these, do you have to, watch the temperature after you drop your latkes in, or?
Well, yeah, you do, because what's going to happen when you drop the latkes in, the temperature of the oil is going to drop. If it drops too much, the food starts sucking up that oil, and that's not good eats. Oops, sorry, wrong show.
Wrong show, man. And so tell me, do I need new oil for every batch of latkes, or can I reuse the oil? How long can I reuse? Tell me.
Well, you just kind of have to watch your oil, okay? If you get a lot of fall off from the latkes, you want to try and clean some of that out as you go. If you burn some, which I've never burnt anything. If you burn some of them, that's going to affect the oil. You just kind of have to keep your eye on it. Anyway, they take a couple minutes per side. You can see some of the fall off is starting to get a little crunchy, a little brown and crunchy, so imagine they're getting there. This is just a cookie sheet with some paper towels on it. We're going to put them on there, and we'll let the paper towels absorb some of that oil. And then, like I said, we'll hit them with that salt again, just for that last little burst of flavor.
And is it important to salt them while they're still hot, or can I let them cool off before I salt them?
That's a good point, Guy Pepperoni. You always want to salt them as soon as they come out of the oil, because that's when that salt really gets to stick to that, and that last little bit of salt is just going to add a ton of extra flavor.
Okay. Hanukkah is more of a celebration of, light and freedom, and I don't think it was until many, many years later that gifts started to be exchanged during Hanukkah time. So some traditional, activities for Hanukkah that I've read about. It's traditional to eat small chocolate coins called gelt. They're usually wrapped in gold foil. We light candles, one every night. That symbolizes that the oil lasted for 8 days.
Really? One every night?
We light one more every night, up to 8. Well, 9 if you count the shamash.
What's the shamash?
I'm so glad you asked, Pops. The shamash is the candle that we use to light the other candles every night. And some other fun activities that we do during Hanukkah include spinning dreidels. It's everyone's favorite form of gambling. Yeah, those are some of the fun things that we get to do during Hanukkah.
So Guy Fakeroni, we flipped the latkes, and look, they're nice and golden brown.
They are.
And you'll see a couple little dark spots. Those are the onions because they fry at a different temperature than the potatoes do, and so they got a little bit darker. So, Guy, do you want to tell us what's the traditional way to eat a latke? Do you know?
Well, I did read something on Wikipedia about this. I've heard that traditionally you serve them with applesauce and or sour cream.
Right, and I think it's more of a personal preference, you know? Personally, I don't like mine with the sour cream. I just prefer just a little bit of applesauce on mine, and I try and maximize the fried potato flavor because that's how I like them.
I like a little bit of hot sauce in my sour cream.
Ooh, that's an interesting idea.
So what is this that you lined the pan with?
Well, as I said before, you like to take them out. I let them drip a little bit in the pan, and you put them on this pan with some paper towels. And if you're feeding an army, what you can do is you can put them in the oven at about 200 just to keep them warm while you cook the next batch. And you asked about changing the oil. You can see we got a little bit of fall off there. We really can't scoop that out.
And I hear you're gonna need that.
Oh yeah.
Come on, show me the moves.
Plink. So you just give them a little more salt.
Oh, I'm going at this the Faghieri way with my hands like an animal.
Oh man, that's good.
Oh, real good. And they're perfectly salted. They're nice and warm. You know, Pops, you said it over and over, but I cannot stress the importance of salting them while they're still hot.
Yeah. I'm glad you like them, Guy Pepperoni. You know, I have cooked a few tasty things in my day.
I have to say, Pops, that is a one-way ticket to Flavor Town right there.
So we did a Hanukkah thing at CSK a few years ago. We made, I can't even tell you how many. I think it was about 12, or those bags are 1.5 pounds. And I think we cooked maybe 14 or 16 of those bags. And we did them all here, right at George's Garage Cafe. I hope this encourages you to break out your propane bottle or your electric fry pan and fry yourself up some latkes. And happy Hanukkah.
Oh yeah, happy Hanukkah.
From the Matutsis to you, happy Hanukkah.